Hello and welcome to New World Birth. My name is Scott Davis, and this is the care and feeding of a New World Age report for the Gregorian date of August 8th, 2014, and one man or eagle in the Mayan Tzolkin calendar. And we're also going to be discussing the Aquarius Full Moon, Venus moving into Leo, and Mercury moving into Virgo. So August 8th of 2014 is one man or eagle. It carries the themes of perspective, keen vision, free spirit, messenger of faith and knowledge, patience, wings of the spirit, value, manifestation of fertility, knowing the details, the dualities of the sun and the moon, the budding youth and the wise elder, male and female, the soaring eagle and the following eagle, and the messenger between heaven and earth. It also represents luck, hope, liberty, trust, good fortune, and good relationships. Eagles have this quality of being able to observe the movements from a great distance. And the one eagle 13-day period could be used to gain greater perspective about events in our lives through creating some distance between the observer and the observed. So before I get into the daily energy for one men or eagle, on the 8th, all the planets are appearing to be moving forward from our vantage point here on the Earth, with the exception of Chiron, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, which appear to be retrograde or moving in reverse motion from our perspective here on the Earth. Um, and so Chiron, when it's retrograde, it's currently in Pisces. This is about releasing stuck emotional energy so that we can get return to the natural flow of life. And then we've got Uranus and Aries retrograde. Uh, Uranus and Aries is seeking to shake our very foundation through the unexpected rebellion of the individual. Obviously, we're in the middle of a very difficult time of upheaval, destruction, death, unexpected change, natural disasters, violence, and war. And retrograde Uranus and Aries will have people wanting to hurry to free themselves from the process, from feeling stuck. So just wanted to kind of push the river of revolution, whether it's a personal revolution or a political or governmental revolution. And I think about the time, this is a time of detaching, which is represented by Uranus, to act as an unextracted individual, Aries, and being an outer planet. Actually, all three of these planets that are retrograde, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, are outer planets. And the way outer planets affect us is they create events that we respond to. The inner planets affect us personally as individuals within humanity, which reminds me of this Krishnamurti quote, which I think really it describes Uranus and Aries. The only hope for humankind is the transformation of the individual. Uranus creates challenges according to the sign it's in. So uh, we may feel like we keep getting the same lessons in a theme over and over again. And Uranus is the modern ruling planet of Aquarius, which means that fairness is one of the topics. And often these events seem to be unfairly sent against us. And then we've got Neptune in Pisces. It's in its own sign. It's about seeking transcendence through spiritual experiences. So this is a time when we might want to use our spiritual practices to keep us grounded as we expand our intuition and consciousness. And this is very important energy to nurture because we've been talking about being in the middle of these the 4 years of challenging Uranus Pluto squares, which are affecting us as a collective and individual and as individuals. So just kind of having this spiritual grounding, the spiritual perspective is very helpful when the rest of the world just seems much more challenging. And then, of course, we've also got Pluto here in Capricorn, um, retrograde, and Pluto represents death and completion. And in Capricorn, it's a breakdown of structures to bring about transformation. And Pluto in Capricorn is determined in exposing the darkness and destroying the old order so we can rise up like the phoenix from the ashes and soar again. Capricorn's about large structures, which includes banks, governments, corporations, and religion. So this is a time of a cosmic course correction for the entire planet. So let's look at the daily vibrational energy for the Trecena. August 8th, like I said, it's one men or eagle. It's about unity experience through seeing from a higher perspective in the Mayan Tzolkin calendar. And we've got the sun conjunct Mercury. So from our perspective here on Earth, this forms this is they're at the same degree of Leo, and also the Sun is in a trine to Uranus. So from our perspective here, the Sun is at a 120-degree angle to Uranus. So the Sun conjunct Mercury illuminates communications of all kinds. This merging of the solar and mercurial energy may bring forward commitments that require us to sign on the dotted line, particularly about something that holds passion or purpose for us. The Sun conjunct Mercury in Leo, it's great for expressing ourselves and thinking creatively with leadership potential, but also with more drama in the expression. And we need to be watchful that we listen to others, as this energetic really just wants to communicate. So we can get our point across, but if we want to be polite, we should allow other people to do so as well. Expect the 8th to be a day when there's an increase in phone calls or meetings or emails and so on. And then the Sun in a trine to Uranus, like I said, 120-degree angle. This colors the day energies to engage in new and different activities that lead to self-discovery and a greater understanding of the world. This is more exciting energy than we have most days. People are going to be more perceptive and able to make changes with greater understanding of the interrelationships within our lives. Expect folks to be forthright in expressing themselves without trying to filter what is expressed for the benefit of the listener. So this is a good day for studying science or something technical or occult subjects such as astrology, because it brings this ability to find a greater understanding of any discipline that reveals new and exciting aspects of the universe. On the other hand, it will be a difficult day for just following the daily routine. So get out there, do something you've always wanted to do. It's a great day to cross something off your bucket list, and you'll probably gain some new self-awareness in the process. Also on the 8th, we've got Mercury, of course, trining Uranus, again, 120-degree angle from our perspective here on Earth. And it's also in a square to Saturn, which means from our perspective on Earth, this is a 90-degree angle from Mercury to Saturn. Let's talk about Mercury trine Uranus first. It continues Mercury's dance through the sign of Leo. Uranus is the higher octave planet to Mercury. Mercury brings about our personal thinking and communicating, while Uranus is about personal communing and with something that's larger than ourselves. This is a very stimulating transit. It raises conscious awareness and brings more of a love for life. It's it's a desire to seize the day, carpe diem. So new ideas come quickly with solutions for a problem that maybe has been perplexing, and somehow the answer is available under this influence. After being unavailable in the days leading up to this time period, this energy is looking for a break from the routine. So again, go out, do something that's out of the ordinary. It also favors studying a new topic, particularly again astrology, science, math, technology, or the occult. And we can expect some electric conversations under the Mercury trine Uranus energetic. Mercury square Saturn. This favors this square between these two. This favors heavy mental contemplating that requires disciplined thinking, a sharper mind, and a higher standard of quality. But it also brings difficulty in communicating and being understood by others. So it's not the best time for any type of negotiations with folks misinterpreting each other. So I delay business dealings for a day or two. This is a time when people are more likely to withdraw and feel lonely. The gift of this passage is it increases our ability to think practically, um, but we'll also see the imperfections and flaws. I'm not going to be covering the daily lunar activity in these reports other than new and full moons, but that information is available on the New World Birth daily Facebook post and also on the blogger New World Birth blog if you want to follow what's happening with the moon and the angles it's making on a daily basis. On the 9th, we have two Keeb or wisdom, duality experience through introspection, meditation, and forgiveness. And then we have the sun now forming a square. From our perspective here on Earth, that's a 90-degree angle to Saturn, which has people feeling unlucky, and it brings up issues where that are difficult to handle, but the effect doesn't last more than a few days. So it really just brings up two questions. What do you owe others and what do you owe yourself? Because this is a conflict between self-gratification and duty to others. And there's a tension between these two poles that may seem limiting and depressing as we want to break out of this rut and find that the restrictions that are holding us back from being ourselves. So during this influence, folks may not want to go to work or to school or interact with people that they prefer not to associate with, and this can bring resentments as obstacles that interfere with our wishes to do what we want. Under this influence, people make assumptions without checking the facts, which is not favorable for relationships with authority figures. The best use of this transit is to channel the energy into self-discipline. Often others are not holding us back, but we're just projecting our internal restraint outwards onto people in our immediate environment. This also brings like a low physical and psychological energy, so you may feel the weight of the world is just too heavy. This transit shows our vulnerability and weakness, and it gives us an idea of what we can work on to gain confidence. And then on the 10th, we have 3 Kaban or Earth. This is about taking action through gratitude for Mother Earth. While we have the Aquarius full moon at 18 degrees, and it's stimulated by Uranus and challenged by Saturn and opposed by Mercury as well as the Sun in Leo. And of course, we get the standard type of hype whenever people will come in, and it's like Aquarius. So we're going to talk about the Aquarius age by astrologers that really haven't done their research about when the Aquarian age will occur, which actually I covered back in a New World Birth video back in January 13th of 2013. It's still available on YouTube. If you've connected with that offering, you know that we're over 300 years away from the Aquarian age. Which is being hyped by people as being some type of time of spiritual bliss. But think about it. Aquarius represents technology and non-personal humanity, which reminds me of like the Borg Collective on Star Trek: The Next Generation, which was kind of like this impersonal technology that traveled the universe, assimilating others into its group consciousness. And ironically, the characters that I root for in that show represent more of the Leo opposition to Aquarius, being willful and creative, strong individuals. anyway, none of us are going to be alive in our current incarnation when the age of Aquarius dawns. So let's really talk about this full moon. It's about finding balance between our social consciousness, represented by the moon in Aquarius, and being happy, creative, and having fun, represented by the sun in Leo, with a feeling of real conflict between feelings and reason. And others will have this fruitful expression of their deeper awareness, either internally or with another, given the moon's opposition to Mercury. The Leo sun wants to be dramatically expressed, feeling tension with the transpersonal path to reason, which is represented by the Aquarius moon. The lunation, in harmony with Uranus, will bring kind of a pleasant yet restless feelings, craving emotional excitement to do something outside of our daily routine. We're getting a lot of this energy at the beginning of this Trisena, and then it's challenged by Saturn, which will have people feeling lonely and isolated during this time of tension between the Leo sun and the moon in Aquarius. So you can almost think about it like this. Let's say that my hand represents the Earth, and on one end we've got the sun. On the other end, we're going to have the moon. From our perspective in the Earth here. So this is an opposition for the full moon, and then we've got Saturn out here making a 90-degree angle to both of these. So Saturn ends up being the head of the T-square with the Sun Mercury conjunction opposing the Moon, which is going to apply pressure to the lunation and then we've also got Mars in Scorpio, and it's in a square to Jupiter in Leo. So there's a potential for excessive violence, expansive violence. Jupiter is expansion, and Mars is aggression. But it could also be that folks could be driven, Mars, to be generous, Jupiter. In Aquarius, again, is ruled by Uranus. So the results of this full moon really are quite unpredictable. It's going to be very challenging for folks that have planets in the mid degrees of Leo and Scorpio and Aquarius, and particularly Taurus, because Taurus is the part of that T-square that if any planets are going to fill in that point. So it's going to be even more challenging for people with planets in the mid degrees of Taurus. And then the 11th, we have for Etznob or Flint. This is about stability through being introspective in the Mayan Tzolkin calendar. August 12th is 5 Kawak or storm, empowerment through recognizing the gifts of adversity. And at this point, we've got Venus moves into Leo, so it crosses in there, and which is going to bring kind of a more flamboyant and dramatic effect on our romances and social gatherings. People are going to be more inspired to splurge on gifts for loved ones over the next 3 weeks. And this completes our building of a stellium. Look at all these planets we got in Leo here. Because we've got the Sun, we've got Mercury, and Jupiter, along with Venus, all in the sign of the Lion here. And we can see the influence of Jupiter in Leo bringing us more global drama during these years of this Uranus-Pluto squares. Think about what's happened since Jupiter's gone into Leo. We've got, planes unexpectedly crashing or being shot down, and wars beginning or escalating, and the collapsing of borders. These are all themes of the drama, the expansion of Jupiter and Leo. And then the 13th, we have 6 Ahau or Sun, being in the flow through honoring the wisdom and the memory of our ancestors. And then August 14th is 7 Emish or crocodile, reflection through nurturing new beginnings in the Mayan Tzolkin calendar. And then on the 15th, we have 8 eek or wind balance through communication. And on this communication day, is eek day, we've got Mercury actually moving into Virgo. Of course, Mercury is the planet of communication. It's considered to be one of the ruling planets of Virgo. So Mercury in Virgo, this brings out more of analytical aspects of the mind and grounded communication. People are going to be more drawn to know facts and wanting to explore all the sides of a question before making up their minds. Sloppy communication and thinking will find that there is less tolerance when we could think things through. So we try to think things through before we speak and articulate the practical information with beautiful organization with Mercury and Virgo. Also on the 15th, we've got Mars in a sextile Mars over here. Mars in a sextile to Pluto. So from our perspective here on Earth, Mars in Scorpio makes a 60-degree angle to Pluto and Capricorn. This brings the energy for a reconstruction of our inner world with harmonic connection between the traditional and the modern rulers of Scorpio. This is alignment between planet octaves as well. Mars representing our desire and personal will, with Pluto the transcendent will of the universe and the empowerment of our authentic self. A sextile between Mars and Pluto is good for making changes in our lives to become more effective in changing the world around us. This can stimulate people's ambitions without others feeling threatened. With Pluto involved, the Martian ego gets sublimated, so our efforts should be for the greater good, or we're going to need to sow the seeds. We'll be sowing the seeds of our own self undoing. This may affect our plans as unforeseen changes are made to bring improvement to the original plan. So the influence of this is we may have a plan, but when we get this Mars sextile Pluto, that we revise the plan. Generally, this is great energy to work with groups moving towards some joint goal. And then on August 16th, it's 8 Akbal, or night, patience experienced through contemplating the stars. The 17th is 10 Khan, or seed, or lizard, manifestation through planting new seeds and making new connections in the Mayan Tzolkin calendar. August 18th is 11 Chichan, or serpent, resolution through being flexible. And at this point, from our perspective here on Earth, Venus is at the same degree as Jupiter in Leo, so it's what we call conjunct, which is really one of the most agreeable transits. Unfortunately, it only lasts a day, but it's very pleasant, has a very pleasant effect on people's moods. Many will be more optimistic, outgoing, and eager. It also brings folks to indulge themselves and spend money, as self-discipline is really kind of low under this. It'd be a great day to have any type of celebration. Of course, Venus's love, with Venus love relationships are also favored. Now, typically, this is an excellent energy for a wedding or a party, but we have to also look at that same day, we've got Mercury opposing Neptune. So Mercury here, newly in Virgo, opposing Neptune in Pisces. Again, the opposition, 180-degree angle. This brings confusion with a great deal of information coming into our minds that we really just can't make sense of. So we feel a heightened sensitivity with little ability to filter to gain clarity. It's not a day to make any kind of permanent commitment based on the experiences of that day. So maybe it's not a day to get married at all. Still might be pretty good for some kind of social event, though. And then over the next few days, we'll gain kind of greater clarity about this download of spiritual awareness that we're getting from the Mercury opposition to Neptune. But on the 18th, people might feel confused or anxious and have a lower tolerance for stress. And then the 19th, we've got 12 Kimi or transformation, understanding through releasing what no longer serves us. And the 20th, we have 13 Manik or deer. This is movement to the next stage through being of service to others in the Mayan Tzolkin calendar. So no matter what the energies that are affecting you during the one Eagle Trisena, take some time to be in the flow of the planet by being in nature, watching a sunrise or a sunset, communing with the stars, being conscious of the moment through introspection, meditation, or just being really, conscious when you're with somebody you love. Every day is a blessing, no matter what dramas are beckoning to distract us. We're all here just giving the performance of our lifetime on the world stage. Just take some time out to observe the play as well as act your part by remembering you're a spiritual being that's having a human experience. Anyway, I want to thank you for checking out New World Birth. The next segment of Care and Feeding of a New World Age will be on August 21st of 2014 for one Lamont or star or rabbit in the Tzolkin calendar. We'll also be discussing the sun moving into Virgo, the Virgo new moon, and Mercury moving into Libra. So you can check us out on Facebook or YouTube or the Mayan Magics website. And I encourage you to share this information as videos or as text as widely as you choose. I'm going to be discussing the metaphysics and astrology transits for September of 2014 and providing some short human design readings to the participants of the Earth Needs Rebels show on Truth Frequency Radio on Tuesday, September 2nd. And it's a great show, and you're welcome to come on. You can actually get into the chat space for Earth Needs Rebels on the Truth Frequency Radio website, and you can message Katie and give her your information or ask a question, and they'll get that message to me. Or you can personal message her and send her your phone number. They'll call you for free anywhere on the planet to have you join our show. And we'd love to have you there. Anyway, as always, I invite you to contact me at newworldbirth@yahoo.com if you have any questions and wish to schedule a reading. And I am providing readings, and I wish to make this service available to the greatest amount of folks. So we've got 3 different options with 3 levels of compensation. And these readings are really designed to provide information to help you navigate these difficult times. So if you've been thinking about getting a reading, please, please contact me. I'd love to provide you a reading during these uncertain times. You're going to either need to be able to call me in Maine in the USA, or we can connect on Skype to receive your reading. We're also accepting donations to keep these reports freely available. In my opinion, the best way to make a donation, get a reading. These things are epic. They're like 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours, sometimes longer, but they're really designed to really help you understand your individual strategy and authority from the human design perspective. At some of the higher readings, we'll look at your astrology transits and what's going on. So a lot of these are actually 2 readings in one. So anyway, I'd love to provide you a reading if you find yourself so inclined, and I certainly would absolutely appreciate that experience and having it with you. So please contact me if you're thinking about it. Anyway, I'm blessed that you've taken the time to connect with my passion for all of these ancient mysteries and their application to our journey during this incarnation. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste, in Lakesh, and really, I am very grateful for this experience, and hope to connect with you either on the radio show or in a reading, or certainly in the next video, or just in the blog. But anyway, thanks for everything. Peace, everybody.